It's Hitman here. I just wanted to talk about a new platform I came from. I used to play paintball, but kind of stopped, and with how much it cost and, moving to Florida, it's a little hot and be doing that. Anyways, upgraded to a bigger platform, which is pistols. And I've had pistols before, but I never made videos on them, so this is the first. And I also wanted to get some questions, comments from the YouTube audience. So I got a Glock here. I got the Glock 35 Generation 4. And from first view, I am completely in love with it. There is some upgrades I do want to talk about. Probably replacing some stuff, but man, I just love the way it feels in my hand to a certain extent. But I love the length. I love how big and sturdy it is. It's just one thing that really turned me on a Glock. If it was not for this gun, I probably would not have gotten a Glock till this day. I mean, I'd always been turned away from Glock. The main reason is because of this hump right here. I do not like the hump. I don't like how it pushes against my palm. I have really big hands, but I got shorter fingers than most people. So, I mean, one thing that I don't like is how it pushes away from me. But with the bigger and full size gun, this is obviously a little bit longer, but the full size gun, they don't feel that bad, but it's still there, and I know it's still there, and I don't like it. But one thing I did want to talk about was maybe grips coming into play and making it a little easier to work with, and maybe like it a little bit more with that hump out of the way. When I first bought this gun, I was under the impression that this piece pops out and you can, change it. However, that is not the case. This completely overlaps what's already there, making it even fatter and more of a hump there. Not that it's a big problem, people that have Glocks get used to it, and people may never even complain about the hump. But that's one thing, because I'm used to a 92 FS, used to revolvers, and I just love the feel of those guns. They stay in your hand, they feel comfortable in your hand, nothing's pushing away from each other. It's just a perfect fit. When you have big hands, you like stuff like that. Okay. One thing I did want to talk about was the grips. I did want to get Talon grips, but everyone tells me that, after wear and tear, you do need to replace them. And I love the way they look. I have not personally felt them in my hands, but I've felt, something close to it. Now, many people stipple their guns, which is something new to me. Basically, they sand it down, take a soldering iron and, do whatever design they wish. However, I do not feel comfortable doing that myself because I've never done it, and I, have nothing to practice with, and I do not want to mess it up because, as you know, whether you do it or whether someone else does it, it is there and there's no turning back unless you buy a complete new frame. So, I was wanting to get comments on how well the Talon grips work, if it's a good buy, if there's something better out there. I don't really want to go towards sleeves, but yeah, I just don't like the sleeve, the plastic rubber sleeve that goes right here that I'm sure people are going to suggest me to, but that's just something I don't like. They do stipple it, and I like the way it looks, but it's not going to look like that if I do it because I've never done it before. But that is something that I would like, maybe if somewhere local does it and does it for you, or if that's just something you have to do yourself. I probably end up won't doing it then. But yeah, people sand it down, the whole deal. Stipple it up, looks nice, feels nice. Some people completely eliminate this to where you can put the other pieces on it. Some people don't. Some people make it to where they stay on there forever. It's up to you. It's your gun. But one thing I did want to talk about was this mag release. I cannot stand this mag release. It's a good mag release, but other than the fact that you have to, you know, kind of turn it in your hand just to push it, and you know, you have to push your thumb into it because it's almost flush with everything. The only part that's not flush is right there. That's the only piece that sticks out. So you can't just, you know, push it from this side. You have to wrap your hand around it and push it from the side that's actually poking out. So I probably will be getting a new one that sticks out a little bit further. So if you guys have any brands, any suggestions, let me know in the comment section. Probably if they have different colors, I'd like, you know, a silver tone color. If not, it's not that big of a deal, honestly. Another thing I did want to talk about was the slide release. I can't, that's another thing that's, you know, it's almost flush with the dip in here. It's hard to get when you have big fingers. So there's another thing I want, whether it's, you know, a little extended or it's the trapezoid shape, which do look a little bit healthier, what am I talking about? Which do look a little easier to release that, because they come at an angle like this instead of, you know, just straight up and down. So if you guys, again, have any suggestions on what and what not to get on either brand, different brands of the mag release or the slide release, let me know in the comment section. Another thing I did want to talk about was the trigger. A lot of people have told me that the trigger is amazing and that you don't really need to work with it at all. There might be a little strong, maybe 5-pound pressure behind it, and maybe you can loosen it up a little bit, and you know, it's all to your preference. But people have told me that it's great. People have told me that it's alright, but there's better out there. And then there's people that told me it's complete crap. So I mean, I'm just gonna let the comment section duke it out here, because I have not shot this gun. I don't know. I guess the best way for me to find out is to go and actually shoot it and, you know, determine the pressure I want. But, I mean, if I'm going to get a new one, drop a comment. Let me know what some good brands are for some triggers. Another thing I did want to talk about, first holding this gun, and I've seen a lot of people complain about it, is that knuckle, that calloused knuckle from, you know, these not jagged, but, you know, cornered edges. They don't really, they're not smooth. So, I don't know. Another thing I wanted to say is, if there's somewhere that you can take it and do it, may it be a gun shop, a retailed gun shop, what am I talking about? But anyways, if there's a place they'll do it to where you don't have to do it yourself, and it's fairly cheap, not too expensive, I would like to definitely do that. If I have to do it myself, then may God be with me, and hope I don't mess it up, because I don't, you know, that's not something I'm used to doing. I'm used to changing parts on boats and shit. It's a little bit of the same, but you know, when it's your item, you don't want to do it. Doing someone else's work, you know, I have all the confidence in me, but if I'm doing my own, I don't know why. I just don't want to mess up on my own shit. But basically, that's what I want to talk about. If there's any place that does it, let me know in the comment section. May it be the place where I bought it, anywhere, doesn't matter. If I have to send it off, so be it. Even though I know it'll cost a little more. But I know that this undercut is something that everybody is talking about, and everybody does not like. They even go to the extent of doing more up here on the actual under trigger, which I don't think would be a problem. You know, if I got this, I'd be happy with that. But what's another thing I could talk about? I'm going to talk about the sights. The sights, everybody tells me where I got it that the sights are amazing, and then I have everybody else that tells me that they're junk. They are adjustable. Adjust them to your preference. And honestly, I can say right out of the gate, I do want to put night sights on it, but I have no experience from any other aftermarket brands. So if you want to drop a comment and tell me some good brands and some shitty brands on what not to buy, go ahead and do that and let me know. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the barrel. I love the barrel. I've shot many Glocks. I have not shot this Generation 4 35. I have not shot that one. I've shot 17, a 19, and I believe a 40. Anyways, I've never really had any problems with the barrels. The only thing I would want to change it for is because of the color. I do want to change it because of the color and maybe get a ported one. Not sure about that, depending on what they run. I was leaning towards Lone Wolf. If anyone has any bad experiences from that, go ahead and let me know. If you have good experiences, let me know. I think I pretty much went over most of the things I had questions about. Other than the laser sight, I do want to put a laser sight on it. Maybe have a flashlight and laser all in one. Maybe separate, maybe not, I don't know. I did see the ones that looked pretty nice because it did not have any, it didn't, stick out anywhere on the gun except right in here. And those do run a little much. About $200-300. I don't know if it'd be worth it though. That's another thing I wanted to ask you guys because people with experience would know about that. But I cannot remember the name of the flashlight that everyone recommends to me. I believe it starts with an S. I'm not 100% sure, but it's all metal. It goes right here, obviously. If you have any good brands of lasers that did not fail on you, or flashlights that did not fail on you, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. But yeah, everything seems to be working amazingly besides the stiffness of the brand new springs, but that'll get worked out and probably have better reviews on it once everything gets worked in a little bit. But anyways, this is Hitman. Let me know any comments, suggestions, questions, even if. I don't know much about this Glock per se, but I can definitely do as much as I can to help you get those answers or questions answered. But yeah, thanks guys. Let me know.